You leave the conversation thinking it is finally over. Then, a few days later, the exact same argument happens again. The same issue, the same confusion, the same emotional exhaustion, and part of you starts wondering why nothing ever seems to change. That is often how this pattern feels. You try to explain something that mattered to you, but somewhere during the conversation, the focus begins to move. Now you're defending your tone instead of discussing the original issue. The conversation is no longer about what you brought up. It is now about your reaction, your wording, or how the conversation made them feel. Something about the interaction has already shifted. And because the original concern never fully gets explored, the issue often returns later in another form. The title of this video answers itself here. The same arguments keep happening because the original problem is rarely being fully understood or resolved. Instead, the conversation keeps getting redirected before clarity is reached. Some people describe this as a narcissistic communication pattern when it happens repeatedly. Not because every repeated argument is narcissistic, but because the interaction starts to center around managing reactions instead of understanding concerns. For them, this can become useful. If the conversation keeps moving away from the original issue never fully has to be addressed. The concern is raised. The interaction shifts. Attention moves toward defending, explaining, or repairing tension. Your concern loses space, and the conversation ends without real resolution. That is why the same argument often returns later. Nothing was actually completed emotionally. Many people respond to this by trying harder the next time. They explain more carefully. They choose softer words. They try to stay calmer. That response is understandable. But clearer communication cannot resolve a conversation that keeps shifting away from the original issue. In healthy conversations, both people stay with the original concern long enough to understand it. Clarity creates movement. Confusion keeps the issue repeating. If the same arguments keep happening, that is important information. It may be showing you that the conversation keeps changing direction before resolution can happen. And once you recognize that pattern, the repetition starts to make sense. Because after a while, repeated confusion can start to feel like it's your fault, even when the conversation itself keeps changing direction. If this helped put words to your experience, like the video and subscribe to the channel. This channel exists to help you recognize narcissistic and manipulative patterns, calmly, clearly, and without blame, so you can understand what's happening and trust yourself again. And when conversations unfold this way, another pattern often begins to form. In the next video, we're going to explain why nothing gets resolved after arguments and how that pattern keeps the conversation from resolving. Click here to watch.